Huh. Hey, hi everyone. A very good evening to all of you, and I welcome all of you to this webinar. Can all of you just confirm if I'm audible with reactions? So, few guidelines before we start this call. I would like to request all of you guys to stay on mute, and by the end of the session you will be getting chance to ask your doubts and questions from the resource person. So feel free to drop in your questions in the chat box, and at the end of the call we'll also give you a chance to unmute yourself and ask if there is any question you have. So without doing any further delay, let's jump to today's webinar. So hi everyone, myself Abhishek Kumar. I'm co-founder of Oscode, and I welcome you all in today's webinar. So before jumping to the webinar, just let's talk about what we are building at OS Code and CommunityX and what we are trying to do at this community. So CommunityX consists of three communities inside that whole ecosystem. So the first one is OS Code, the second one is OS Indiverse, and third one is OS World. The two later communities, OS Ingiverse and OS Volt, we have started recently, but OS Code is something which we are working from last 3 to 4 years, and it's mainly a community that is dedicated to technology, and that's more of students who are CS and light branches oriented, where we do events, a lot of tech events like webinars, seminar, tech talks, hackathons, and workshops as well. The same questions we got from a lot of college authority and the students as well who are from core engineering domain, who are from either civil, mechanical, architecture, or electronics and allied branches. And that's why we brought into new communities. So OS Bolt mainly deals with students from electronics and allied branches, be it EC, Triple E, EIE, ET, VLSI, and OS Engineers deals with civil architecture and mechanical branches. Coming to numbers, as of now, we are into more than 55 plus colleges. So whenever we say we have a chapters, we do have a dedicated team at those colleges and where we conduct regular events. We have more than 50,000 plus students member associated with us. We have conducted more than 350 plus events across the community, consisting of online events, offline events, hackathons, ideathons, meetups, and we have more than 200 plus verified mentors who are there with us to guide the students in whatever way they can, where they are coming to bring in their industry expertise, as our vision tends to bridge the gap that exists between industry and academics, and that's where our mentor comes into action. So without doing further delay, Susan, can we go to next slide? Yes. Yeah, thank you. So we were talking about OS Code, and what we build at OS Code is more of a community that conduct events and that try to bridge a gap between industry and academics. We do have a lot of partnerships across industry with Microsoft, Salesforce, N8N, Cursor, Render, GitHub, and many more. And what we are trying to drive through those partnerships is collaborations that can help the students in using new tools and technology that's right now evolving, or you can say trending in the market or industry. We do conduct events across several categories, and these are not some limited category which you can see over the screen. So starting from hackathons, coding contest, AIML boot camps, open source sprints, mentorship, TSA and interview prep, tech podcast and talks. So these are some domains which we could list over there, but there are many verticals parallelly where we are working and doing things that's helping the student in one or other way. And those all events, workshops, seminars, whatever we are doing, that is trying to help the student in getting upskilled from industry perspective. So that's all sort bit about OS Code and what we are doing at OS Code. And this webinar is getting conducted being part of OS Code ecosystem itself, and even people from any other branches apart from CSLI, as it's session related to prompt engineering. So it's open for everyone. So anyone from any branch, any stream can join this session and make most out of it. So can we go to next slide, Susan? Susan, can we go to next slide? Yeah, this one. Okay, fine. Then coming to one of the major platform which we have developed across this ecosystem is YourBuddy. That's one is to one mentorship platform, and the region or intent behind building this platform to ensure people who wants to get one-on-one guidance with our mentors, where you have your personalized out or you want a personalized career guidance. So earlier, YourBuddy consists of a short-term mentorship, but few months back, 6 to 8 months back also, we brought a concept of long-term mentorship where you can connect for a dedicated career guidance with mentors of your choice. So this platform ensures flexible scheduling, personalized guidance, verified mentors, and career growth. As we discussed in the previous slides as well, we have more than 200 plus mentors who sit with us, and we have onboarded them over your buddy as well. So let's say suppose even some mentor goes to your college to take a session, and in that 1 hour session you couldn't ask your question or you couldn't ask your personalized doubt or queries, you can always connect with our mentors. Either it's a short term or it's a long term, and they are from different organizations. They covered a lot of different domains. You talk about software, AI, data, product, marketing, HR, design. Be it any domain, you can just go select your domain or search people by their organization's name. Let's say, so if you want to get guidance, someone from Google, Amazon, Adobe, just go search people over there. You will be getting the profiles. You can just go book a session and start discussing with them. So that's all sort about YourBuddy. You just need to go type in YourBuddy over Google or yourbuddy.in in URL box, and then you can explore the platform. So that was all about our one is to one mentorship platform, and that's one of the product which we are working continuously in this sector. Sang, can we go to next slide? These are some of our success stories, some of the people who've been part of our community, and community tried helping in them whatever way they can, and they are working at some good product based organizations as well. So now it's time to start the session, and I would like to call Sasan to introduce our mentor and get kick started with today's webinar.
Okay. Hi everyone. And Abhishek, that was a in-depth description of our ecosystem. Thanks for describing. So I think we all are aware that we are today for a session called Master Prompt Engineering like a Pro. So we all know that is the flavor of the time. Like everything is about AI, vibe engineering, vibe coding, prompt engineering. So that's why we thought of conducting this session. And for that, I would like to welcome our guest, who is Vijaydeep Sinha, who is currently working as a computer scientist too as Adobe, and he will be the one taking this session and like deep diving into things like how you can automate your task, use work on vibe engineering, and like make your productivity higher. So Vijaydeep, I would like to please welcome you.
Thank you, Shashank.
Hi, hi.
And
So, so yeah, just a couple of things, and after this, I will hand over the stage to you. So, I think Abhishek already mentioned. So, please do not raise your hands in between or try to uh, just try to interrupt in between. Once Vijaydeep is done with the session, then we'll have a dedicated Q&A round. Meanwhile, if you have any if you have any questions, you can use the Q&A feature of the meet, like where you could just drop in your questions and post it. If you are like shy in disclosing your name, you could just post it anonymously and we will take it one by one. So yeah, that's all what I wanted to mention. So Vijaydeep, the stage is all yours. Please go ahead.
okay, Sasan, can you mention about that series?
I was going to do it at the end, but okay, no worries. So, okay, this is one of the series. So, this is the one of the sessions. After this, we also have other sessions in this series, which one of them is AI powered development, which is around cursor and vibe coding or vibe engineering, whatever names you want to call it. Then we have something around agents and automations, because that's the that's the things that's already been there in the industry for some time. And then something on the real AI projects, which is end-to-end AI integration into a real project. And then because nowadays many hackathons are around AI, and most of the, for example, Grid this year was around AI, and many such hackathons are coming in. So that's why we are bringing this session where we could, how you could leverage AI in your hackathon projects and how you can participate in them. So these are the upcoming in this series. We'll share more details about it in the future, but today uh, this is our topic, and Vijay, please.
Thank you. So let's get started. So before starting our session, I have a small question for everybody. So how many of you have used ChatGPT? Okay. Okay. So I think decent amount of people have used it. And how many of you are happy using it? Whatever response you get, you are happy with whatever you are getting. Okay. So kind of mixed reaction. And we will try to uncover the same problem, that why we are not happy with the responses that we have been getting out of it, because it's the same AI, same thing which is getting useful for other persons. Okay, so we will try to bridge the gap between that only today. So before starting that, let me share my screen and then we can get started. Just let me know once the screen is visible. Okay. So let's get started. Today we will discuss not about how ChatGPT works internally. I will provide a brief intro about it, but we will mainly use it, how we can use it, how we can use it in our day-to-day activity so that it is helpful for us and it makes our productivity higher. Okay, so let's start. So the first thing which I want you people to understand is the quality of AI answer is a direct reflection. Just a minute. Okay. So quality of AI answer is direct reflection of quality of your thinking. I hope this line makes sense because few of us have already said that we are happy with the responses that we are getting, but few of us are saying that we are not happy with it. But that AI is same. So there has to be something which other people are doing differently. Okay, let's try to uncover that. Okay, so what happens? Let's try to feel why we get that average answer every time. So for that we need to understand one thing, how AI works internally. So we think that AI is an expert, and yes, AI is an expert, but it is our responsibility that we should use that AI in such a way that we can get the expert details out of it. Okay, so when we ask average things, we will get the same kind of response. If we ask vague questions, or in AI terminology, we call it as prompt. If we provide vague prompts, then it is likely that it can give any kind of response. Okay. So AI works in this way. It predicts everything. So let's say if we are talking about anything, then AI internally what tries to do, it tries to find a relation between them and tries to find out what can be the next thing. So the better we are providing the guidance, the better result we are going to get. Okay, we will uncover all these things, what it means, what are the technical keywords that are being used for these things, but just try to understand that how it works and why we are getting these kind of things. Okay, so I will be touching this point again and again through various examples throughout the session so that it becomes your biggest takeaway. Okay, so let's see what exactly happens here. So I already told you that AI is nothing but a predictive engine. That simply means, let's assume if I ask you and share this line with you, that cat sat on the and fill in the blanks. Now let's say if there are multiple things. Right now we have provided only three. AI can have so many others. So it tries to find out what can be the next. So rat, maybe cat can sit on the rat. Hat, maybe or may not, this is a better chance. But when it comes to mat, it's so that yes, this is a high matching value, right? So it will pick this. In the same way, AI takes the decision. So it tries to predict based on what we have provided earlier. So now one thing is becoming clear, that the response is dependent directly on what kind of input we are providing, right? Because the likelihood of getting this selected depends on what we have provided in the input. Okay, so what we call this? So let's give a formal name to it. We call it context. So the better kind of context we are providing, the better kind of result we are going to get. So let's try to see this with an example. Let's say if I go open chat GPT and say, explain pointers in C++. Okay, let's see the outcome right away, that what kind of response we are getting. Okay, explain pointers in C++. By the way, so we saw this, that it is going to provide an answer, right? It has provided everything, example, some explanation, operator, visual things, and so on and so forth. It has provided a detailed response. Okay, because we have asked a simple thing, explain pointers in C++. Now, did we provide any enough information? Let's see how we can get better from this. Now, let's say explain pointers to me in C++. I am a first year engineering student, and help me understand with the help of some analogy like hotel or something like that. In the end, ask me few questions so that I can check my understanding also. Now, look at the kind of response we are getting. So it is directly providing you with the help of a real world example. If we can recall, in our class, in our sessions, our teachers do what? They try to relate these things with the help of some analogy, and we are directly able to relate with those things, right? Same thing has been done here, that this number is what you can consider it as an address. Now this is allocated to this person. Look at the response that we are getting out of it, right? It got changed drastically, right? It is allowing you same thing. It is explaining you the same thing, at the rate, understand, ampersand, everything. It is also providing you details about it, which variable is used, right? Everything remains the same, but this analogy makes the response entirely different, right? So this is getting established, that if we want better answers, we should have better questions. Okay, look at this. It is also saying, well, this is one of the confusion and providing memory picture. Look at the kind of response we are getting out of it. Then finally, I said, check my understanding also. So it is asking some questions, you can provide your answer, and it will provide this. Now it has provided final tip also. Most here struggle with try memorizing syntax. So look at this. So this was the crux of the thing, that the better question lead to better answers. Okay, let's move forward. The prompt framework. Let's try to understand what I did in the second prompt, which made this response to be such in a good way. Okay, let's try to see what happened. So we call it as prompt framework. In some places you will read about Rocco framework also. Everything r- means the same. It's just the use of terminology. So here P stands for persona. Persona means who, which role AI has to play, because an AI will be used by a doctor, advocate, engineer, beginner, experts, everybody, right? So we have to tell them which role they should be getting into. Okay, then comes the request or objective, that what we want out of the AI. So what exactly do we need? Then outcome, then what we are looking as an output. Okay, so this is the request, this is the response which I'm expecting. Now, M and P is more context, or the context which I already talked about. This tells about myself, that who I am, what is the level of my understanding, how much knowledge I already have. Okay, then some parameters like limits, that I want answer in this particular limit only. Let's say I want a small, short, and crisp answer. I want a detailed answer. These kind of thing. Then how I want this information? Do I want as a paragraph? Do I want it as a checklist? Do I want it as a tabular format? Right. So all these things comes here. And the final thing is improve iteratively. That simply means don't rely on the first answer that you are getting. Try to see and improve the answers, and we will see this, that how dramatically this improves the response. Okay, so let's try to understand with an example what are this and how it changes. So if you see this question, this prompt itself, let's compare these two prompts. What I said explain pointers to me in C++, right? This is the objective. I am a first year engineering student and help me understand with the help of seminology. So this is the persona, right? That who I am. So all these things are present inside the prompt, and that is the reason why we have got this thing. So in persona changes answer how? If we say that you are a tutor, then it will try to explain step by step. If editor, right, improves clarity and flow. If mentor means he will check you and he will guide you, right? So every persona has its own set of responsibility. So providing this persona in your prompt, it sets the role, it sets the expectation and what gets prioritized. You will also hear often about attention things. So all these things relate to that only. We will not go into details. We are only focusing about how to use the chat GPT rather than what it is doing internally. Okay, so let's see another example. The same question, if I ask in three different ways, how it will change the thing. Okay, so first is very simple. Let's try here. Okay, I will use the another response here, and I will tell you why. Explain recursion. I did this just because of the thing, because it will by default assume that I am a year engineering student. That's why I had to refresh it. So it explained everything. Recursion is a programming technique, base case, recursive case, everything, provided some example, advantage, disadvantage. Once again, it was a vague question. I didn't provide enough clarity. Now let's see, when we say that you are a professor, then what happens? You are a CS professor in a top engineering college. Explain recursion to me. Look, the moment we say why recursion is being used, it has been told, right? Reduce the problem, let the smaller problem solve itself, use that answer to solve the original problem. Real life analogy, what you see, this image, function, function, function. Now look at this. Same thing got structured in a different way based on the persona, right? We are getting the same answer, but in a different way. That's how our teacher explains us, right? Golden rule, everything we are getting. Let's try to think in a different way. Let's say a software engineer asks this question, then what will happen and how the response will change. Okay, let's see. Assume yourself a software engineer working at Google. Now explain recursion. Look at this. First, forget the word recursion. Think about delegation. Imagine. So the context got changed drastically. Here, it assumes that person is working with the corporate. Now, based on that, this is providing a project structure, and that contains. So example got changed accordingly, right? Look at this. Everything remains the same. The examples are changing. Why? Because the AI knows that this is something with which engineers deal often. This is something which a student will understand. This is something how a teacher works, right? So once again, we see same thing is providing different kinds of response based on what kind of persona we have provided. Okay. So persona is an important thing in your prompt. It should always be there, that with which role the AI should work. Okay. Now, request and outcome. Define what done looks like. So we should also tell that what is the goal, what we want from it, right? Explain means you are just telling, but why we need it. The moment we add that information, look what kind of response we are going to get. Okay. So let's see an example for this. Let's try DBMS this time. Explain DBMS. Yeah, everything came up, right? We have added this much, it provided this much information. Now let's see if we provide more things about it. Okay, so teach me DBMS so that I can answer placement interview questions. Focus only on normalization and join, end with 3 interview questions. So now we are also going to provide information why we need to learn DBMS. Okay, so here there was no objective. Study, build, whatever scope you can think on your own. What kind of output we want, we have not provided anything, right? Let's see what will happen in this case. Teach me DBMS for an interview. Focus majorly on normalization and indexing, and ask me few questions to check my understanding. Also provide a checklist at the end. Look at this. The moment I said I am preparing for an interview, it knows what kind of interview questions are asked frequently, right? Which is the important thing, how we should define the things. Foreign key normalization, then it is telling us about first NF, second NF, third NF, right? Bonus BCNF. Quick memory trick, how we can remember these things, right? Indexing, we ask it, right? Then all kind of different index, composite index, primary index, secondary index. Okay, it provided us an interview checklist. What is DBMS, why it is used, tables, rows, first and F. We can see it is also asking you, we can also do a 30-minute mock DBMS interview. So we will come to this place also, but see this. The moment I said why I need this, where I need my focus, it's changed its focus to there only, right? So once again, this is getting established that the better we provide the input, the better output we are going to get. Okay, now let's see. Okay, just a quick thing. Are you guys with me? Are you guys following? Are you guys able to understand the things? Just a quick thumbs up if you're getting it, or if the pace is okay, or it is too slow. Something, if I can get. Okay, it seems so far it's going good. Okay, let's continue. So let's talk about context and parameter. Now let's see what context means and how it is going to change our response. So we are seeing that eventually whatever input we are providing and whatever different ingredients are placing inside it, our dish is getting better, right? Let's see what happens in this case. So context means about what things it has to consider, right? This is a kind of prerequisite, I will say, like your level. If you are a beginner, you are a peer, or you are an expert, right? What you tried, if you have tried something, because let's take a real life example. Let's say if you go to some teacher and ask that I want to understand permutation and combination. Okay, then if you tell that I have read nothing about permutation, let's say the teacher will start assuming you know nothing. But let's say you said I understand box technique, but I fail on and or kind of conditions. So it will assume you know the basics and start building on top of it. So Same thing we have to do in case of AI also. Okay. And then we also tell our teacher na, that sir, my exam is after 1 week, or let's say in 2 days I have my board exams. I don't know anything about this. Just provide me a crash course, right? The more context we provide, the better that teacher becomes. Okay, because at that time it is not, that teacher is not going to take 1 hour class for you. It will explain you all the things which is required at that point of time to crack your exams. Okay, so let's see how context changes the picture. So let's see. So we have to write so many emails, right? In college, in office. Let's say if I say write an email informing about project delay. Look at the response that we are going to get. Yeah, it has provided us a template. I would like to inform project got delayed, unforeseen challenges encountered, new expected date, and these and these things. Okay. Since we didn't provided any information, it assumed everything on its own, that it got delayed. Why? Let's say unforeseen challenges. What we require, we will require some additional time. Okay. What we are doing, we are actively addressing the issue. Everything is an abstract kind of information. Nothing is concrete. Okay. Now let's change the thing. Okay, let's change the thing, that what we are going to provide, why this got delayed, and then see how this application or this letter will change. Okay, so PM to executive, 2 week slip due to block dependency, and 120 words, 3 bullet include the ask and a proposed new date. Okay, now let's see same thing how it will. Yeah. Write an email from PM to executive sponsor about 2 week delay due to a block dependency in a project. Make it in 120 words, try to include 3 to 4 bullet, and include the ask and a proposed new date also. Look at this. I'm writing to inform you project is expected to be delayed by 2 weeks due to critical dependency that remains unblocked by an external team, right? Has completed within our control, affected the planned delivery timeline. It was able to identify the new dates, so we can change it, right? We request your help in dependency stakeholders. Look at the thing here, everything was abstract, but the kind of information we provided, that it changed the thing. We asked it, here there was no bullet points, and we know when we present the things in points, it becomes more readable, more clear, right? So once again, I will say the same thing, that provide enough information in different ways so that your response starts becoming better. Now, the power of parameters. I think we have established it, but let's see this, how we can get the same information in different ways and how it is beneficial for us. Okay. Now let me refresh it so that prior context is gone. Explain operating system to me. Yeah. We know the kind of response we are going to get. Okay. Yeah. Now let's say explain operating system to me, provide me a bulleted detail so that it becomes easy for me to remember. Look at this. I asked to provide me a bullet detail, 1 line, right? Objectives, function, process management, memory management, file management. If we see, it is following almost the operating system book chapters, right? CPU scheduling, security protection, UI, right? It is able to provide the same thing. It is almost now easy mnemonic to remember the main function. How we can remember it? mark exam answer, mark exam answer, right? Quick revision. So we saw that the moment we added more information, or let's say, even this is tedious for me to remember or to read because this is a long page, right? Let's try to do something different. Okay, explain important topics of operating system to me include mainly process scheduling, memory management, and provide in a tabular format for easy revision. Now, let's see what will happen this time. Look at this. Now, you can take this one screenshot and you can remember everything. You can revise everything in short amount of time, right? These are going to become your cheat book also. First come, first serve, shortage of first, right? Priority, Robin based, preemptive, right? We are getting everything. Now see one thing. I asked about only two or three things, but it is providing me paging, so many other things also. Why? Because we only asked how to present. We asked what to present, but we didn't provided what not to present. The limits were missing. That's why it fulfilled what we were looking for, but it also added what we were not looking for, right? So, so in the same way, let's say if we want flashcard, we can say in the end, provide me a flashcard. Cheat sheet we have already seen. Okay. So let's see when we add, or let's say if we want this as a personal tutor, then how we can use it. So let's assume that this AI is nothing but your peer or your teacher based on who with whom you want to study, and then we have to actively work with it. We ask some question, it provides some response, then we ask more question, it provides the response, and over the time response will become better, right? So let's this example further. You are my CS tutor. Explain operating system to me. Teach one concept at a time and ask some questions so that you can check my understanding. Now look at this. What is going to happen? So it first created a roadmap. What is an operating system? It it, it is telling us CPU, RAM, hard disk, and so on and so forth. It is presenting real life analogy, main responsibility, and then it is asking us some questions. The moment I answer it, it will ask further questions. So look at this. It is saying lesson 2 will be program versus process, right? So it is up to us how we are using it. Okay. So it can take the role of any person you want. The only responsibility that we have is we have to tell the AI. Okay. Context driven study plan. Okay. Let's try this. So it is nothing but we have exam in 10 days. I want to study these things. I can study these many hours only, right? Prioritize this topic or that topic and present in this way. So here we are going to use everything. Okay. You are academic mentor. I have exam in 10 days. I want to study subjects DBMS, OS, Python. I can study only 3 hours a day. Create a realistic study plan. Prioritize important topic. Include 2 revision days. Include daily self-check quizzes. Present everything as a table. Now look at this. It is telling us in 10 days with 3 hours how much is possible, first of all. Then in first day, what we should cover. 1.5 hours OS, 1.5 hour DBMS. Which topic? Daily self-check quiz, right? Look at this. I can assure you that if I had to create this plan for studying myself, it would have taken at least 1 hour or 1.5 hours to create this plan, and it would have needed multiple rewrites. Okay, I have covered this, I have covered this one or not. everything is generated in minutes, and not in minutes, even in seconds, right? So that's the power of it. So we can use it in almost all the circumstances that we have, right? We can use it for any kind of job. We have seen this for studying, for finding some information, for creating a plan, for writing an email. We have been using it in different kinds of use cases, right? Then it is also providing us high priority topic, right? Which we have to study, how we should study, then how much study we should be doing, then 10 minutes break, and all these things, right? What we should follow, what we should avoid, right? And it has followed all the things. We said that there should be 2 revision days. Look at this: revision day all subjects, revision day week topics, final revision. So it is following all the things. Why? Because we have said this, that there should be 2 revision days, 3 hours plan, right? So that's how it will proceed. Now, you can also use it for quiz first learning. That, suppose, till now what we have been doing, we have been doing this thing. I want to study this. Provide me this information, right? Let's say, because many times what happens, we say to somebody, please ask me some question, judge my understanding, and then find out which is my weak things, and then teach me, right? So let's start with the very basic things. Summarize chapter 4 on network. Okay. Now let's see what is going to happen here. Summarize chapter 4 on networks. If you see, I have not provided any kind of information, which book, what. Okay. So it is asking me, can you tell me which chapter you are talking about? Right? Because it got to know at once that no context I have right now. And if chapter 4 is there, then which is the book or which is the document, right? I'm talking about OSI layers. Look at this. The moment I said OSI layers, everything will become easy now, right? So if we see, it's not only about the prompt that we are providing, it's also about the thread that we are working on, right? If we see, when I said chapter 4 of the network, it had no idea about it from this prompt or from the previous discussion that we were having. But when I said I'm talking about OSI layers, it in one shot it was able to relate that, oh, it is talking about the networks. That simply means if we are not happy with the first answer, we can ask more, and we should do it. Okay, are you guys with me? Is that going good? Okay, so let's try to go further with it and see how we can use it as a tutor, as a mentor who can check our intelligence, who can check our understanding, and then guide us based on where we are lacking. Okay, so let's try this. Ask me 5 questions about network, one at a time. Wait for my answer. If I'm wrong, give me a hint, and then let me try again. Let's start with the OSI networks only. OSI layer, sorry. Look, the first thing it asks, can you list all the OSI layers in order from top layer to layer bottom, right? Let's say I will try to attempt it. I will make some error also. Physical layer, data layer, network layer, application layer, transport layer, presentation layer. I have made some mistakes. Okay. Sometimes it takes time also. Uh-oh. Okay. So you can see that I have made some mistake here, right? In the order. Let's see whether it is correcting me or not. Uh, Look at this. Bottom three are physical, data link, and network. Between presentation and transport, there is one missing layer. Okay. So look at this. We can use it for our testing also, right? Because what we do when we gather with our friends, we generally ask them na, that please interview me or ask questions from me so that I can get to know whether I have learned it or not. Because when I am doing it on my own, I look at my notebook or book, I see further things, right? So it can help you in that way also. The only thing that we have to do is just provide that information, that how we want this session to be. Okay, are you guys going to use this in your exams? Those who are students, and maybe for any kind of understanding or reading out new things, try to use this. It's very beneficial. Then the next thing is coding and projects. Okay, so now we all know that coding has become very easy because of this AI, right? Earlier we have to code everything on our own on paper. Even I will highly encourage that we should do at least with one language, then only we will move forward. But at least we should do this. Okay, so what I will recommend that we should not do is, first, whenever you are getting stuck with any kind of problem, don't paste that directly. Okay, just get the crisp of thing and then paste it and ask it to diagnose, because that way it will help you learn the things also. Okay, and you can do the same thing, that find out the problem which led to this issue, how we can mitigate it. Okay, because that will help you in getting the things out of the box, right? Because what will happen if you provide a code snippet inside it, and then it will provide you a fixed version, then it is of no use. Okay, it is, your understanding remains the same, but we have to use it for our understanding, right? So this is what I was going to tell you, that fix this code and paste your code. This is not going to help you. This will give you answer. We know chat GPT or any AI, Gemini, Perplexity is capable enough to provide the solution. But if you ask in this way, it is going to help you in getting better answers. Okay, let's try to do this right away. Act as a senior developer. Here is my code. Do not give me the fixed code immediately. Identify where this will fail. Give me 3 hints on using defensive programming here. Let me try fixing it first. And for this, okay, look at this. Great exercise looking at the function. Where this will fail. Division by 0, invalid input type, invalid elements inside the collection, right? Hints, defensive programming. Validate your inputs clearly. Check for edge cases. Can you see where it can be used? Whenever you do this kind of online coding exercise on lead code, hacker rank, or whatever thing, we submit the code, then it says it got failed for this particular input. Then we try to do this debugging. Here we can ask, right? So that's how it will help you learning the things also. Because I can, I could have said this, that fix this codes or make it a production grade. The moment we say production grade, it will provide you all the checks and balances in one shot. But where is our learning? There is no learning in this process, right? So try to use in this way, and it is going to help you in becoming a good coder also. Now, how we want to plan the things. We have seen this, that if we want to study something, that we are going to plan. Let's say we are going to create our internship project. Okay, then what we need to do, first of all, we need to brainstorm that which idea we have, what we want to do, right? How much is the timeline that we have to complete that internship project, right? And what risk we can have, these kind of things. Okay, so let's try this. Once again, I will clear this up. Act as a technical PM, help plan an Android app of to do work, and I have 4 weeks to complete it, and I can work 5 hours per week. Format as a table. Uh, Look at this. Everything which is ready or which is needed for your work, everything is present here. Now, I'm not saying it is complete. Even if it is 70% of the thing, we can ask it to change it. We can get an idea about the things, right? Let's say if it missed some important thing, we can add that. But at least we have a blueprint ready with us. Because earlier we had to do this all Google search by on our own, right? We have got this opportunity to use this, and we can save our time. So this entire task would have needed 1 day at least, maybe even more based on our experience. But here, it doesn't care about who you are. The moment I said you are a technical PM, it gathered all the information or the understanding that a technical PM should be having, and we are here. Okay. Career preparation. So many of us would have been applying for jobs, maybe for those who are in college for getting into their job, those who are already working for the next set of interview. So we can use it for our career coach also. How? The first thing, whenever we get some job JD, right, is we want to prepare our resume. But before that, we should try to check whether our resume is okay or not, right? Then we want to do what? We want to change it, that based on this JD we should modify our resume. And then it comes about preparation, and there comes the mock interview. I hope you guys are able to relate the process, right? So let's see how it can help us. Okay, so what I will do, let's try to do a resume review. I have downloaded a small resume, and let's try to uh, this is my resume. And okay, you are an expert career counselor. I have provided you a sample job description with you and also attached my resume. Can you help identify whether my resume is with respect to this job description or not? If there is any issue, highlight it and also rate it with the help of ATS score. Look at this. It is saying that what this job description is all about and what you have in your resume, right? Now it told that yes, your education is matching, experience is also matching, backend development is matching. These are the place where it is not matching. The cloud technologies which it is asking, you don't have exposure to it. DevOps is what they are looking for. Engineering practices, it's okay. Soft skills, collaboration zone, mentoring. So strong matches, REST API. So now we know where we are lacking. Now, based on that, if we know this, we can add this thing into our resume and apply, and our likelihood of getting selected for the interview will become good, right? If we are not getting these things or we are not aware of this, then maybe this is not the correct job for which we need to apply, right? Then we have done the improvement. Then mock interview, we have already seen with the help of examples like, okay, let's see one more example. So we have already done this. Let's say I want to ask this. Act as an HR interviewer at a top MNC and interview me for a software engineering internship. Ask one behavioral question at a time and wait for my response. Grade my response using star method. Suggest a specific improvement, give a confidence score, and ask the next question. Ask total 5 questions. Look, it is Okay, let me provide a response to it also, and let's see what is going to happen. So I was working on a project, and one of the external service dependency had a library version mismatch, and we could not proceed. So I had to create a local setup on my machine with a upgraded library, and using that I was able to test my code. After that, when it was upgraded and dev namespace was updated, I was able to test it out. Now let's see how it will rate and what suggestion it will tell. Look at this. It has rated that where I scored least, right? What was the impact? Now, what you can do, you can simply use this technique, right? So assume yourself that you are sitting in an interview room, and assume the HR is asking questions to you, and try to answer it here itself. And it will rate you, it will judge you, and will provide you the response so that you can learn all of it, right? Then, okay, I think so. We have already discussed about it, that we want to create a project. Okay. So what I want you to make sure, one more thing here is that whenever we get a response, we should not blindly trust on it. We should try to ask more questions on top of it. That simply means I am not happy with this. Can you explain more? Can you guide me more? That will change the things dramatically. Okay. And let's say if there is something, then ask that I want more alternatives. Okay. Let's try with this thing only. I'm not happy with your assessment. I could not understand why task is 1.5 or result is 1.5. Can you explain in more detail? Okay, I want to share one thing more here. So the moment we challenge the AI systems, and there are certain keywords with which we challenge, like critical, right? Uh, Pathetic. So these kind of things. So these, or let's say if we make anything as bold, we provide double star in before and after that. So it gets more attention to it. We can use this technique to get better answers, right? So look at this. It has revised it. Why happened, but not why it mattered, right? So this was lacking from my answer. So we can ask it more and it will provide us better answers. Okay. So what I will suggest, never be happy with the first response. Try to iterate it. Okay. Ask questions. Don't answer. For example, here are few things which I try most of the time. Like when I ask something to chat GPT, I say, don't answer immediately. First, check my understanding. We have seen this already, right? How it is. Until you are at least 95% confident you fully understand my request. Because first thing should be clear that whether chat GPT is understanding my request or not. The moment it understands my request, it will be able to provide me the correct answer. From find the blind spot. Let's say if I say that create a plan for me, let's say that to do app plan, we can ask, did I miss something in that? The moment I say, it will start looking, oh, something we have missed. It will try to find out what are the different aspects of project management that happens. The moment we do that, we will get more things uncovered, which we are missing maybe. Okay. Last thing I would like to tell here is, do not assume everything that is coming out of the AI is correct. The reason I'm saying this, I in the beginning of this session I discussed that it is predicting the things, and it is predicting based on what it knows already, right? So that prediction is almost correct, but sometimes it can go for a toss. So we should use it responsibly. Okay. Understand the input. Use AI to learn, not outsource. That simply means whatever information you are putting in the AI, you should understand that, because that is going to produce answer for you. Okay. And finally, protect privacy. Do not, and I will say never, input your personal details like email, your Aadhaar number or any kind of thing which can identify you personally into the AI system. You should never use it. Okay. That is the reason why all the resume and examples that I used were simply some more things. Okay. Never use your personal information. Okay. So right now we discussed about prompts. What is going to happen in the future? In the future, we see right now we have discussed about the chatbot. We ask some question, we get some answer. We ask some question, we get some answer. Over the time, now we are moving towards the second stage where we are planning our task and let the agents do work for us. Okay, so agents are going to come are coming into picture nowadays, and then the next thing is communication, that we should be able to communicate these things, and the moment we are able to do it, we see how we are getting better responses, right? Summary is, till today, if every one of us were using chat gpt like a search engine the way we have been using google, stop doing that. Okay, use, consider it as a collaborative intern, your mentor, your teacher, or whatever you want. Just use this in this way and you will see drastically your results are getting changed. Blind copy pasting, assume the things are correct but don't trust it blindly. Okay, always check the validations, or you can ask, can you tell me the source from where you are getting it, right? Vague text question, we saw that the moment we asked vague questions we got vague answer, right? So we use Rocco or prompt framework we have already discussed, right? So that's all I wanted to share with you all. If I hope the session was useful for you. If you have any question.